Okay, I decided while I'm at it, I'm going to show you guys how I do flat back stitching, which is what lets you sew English paper pieces together so that the stitches are really invisible from the front. Look at that. Nope, that's blurry. You cannot see any thread, which I like. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And I've got my packet of random vintage needles that are what I've been using, my thread, and some tape. This is washi tape. You can use masking tape or scotch tape or whatever you've got. I just happen to have this handy, and I like that it's sticky enough to reuse a few times before I have to get some fresh pieces. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a couple pieces. I really want it to stay put. So you just lay the pieces flat the way that they're gonna be arranged. Make sure everything's lined up. And then just lay the tape over the edges. If they don't line up completely, you're gonna be able to kind of like squish them into place either while you're taping or while you're sewing. And I like to go over the edge and then fold the extra tape over because that holds it more securely. So now it's not gonna budge while I'm sewing. So I can flip it over and start sewing. So the way I'm gonna do that, this is weirdly hard to do while making sure that it stays on camera, huh? I'm used to holding this closer to my face because my eyesight is very bad. But yeah, so I pull my thread through, leave a little tail, and then I just catch the other corner like that. And I'm gonna stitch in the same spot a couple times so I can be sure that it's secure and it won't pop loose. I'm gonna do that again right in the same spot and get both corners. And not be able to find my needle for a sec. There it is. Okay, so now it's secure and I can start actually stitching. So it's basically just whip stitch. Like you're just going, you want to make sure that your needle is totally perpendicular to the seam and the thread is going straight across. You don't want it angled at all. The only time you might want it angled is if you accidentally have one side that's a tiny bit longer than the other and you're trying to ease them together a little bit, but ideally you don't have that happen because you did it correctly in the first place. And I've certainly never ever had to do that, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Weird of me. Anyway, so yeah, I know a lot of the time with stuff like this, people will tell you to just catch like 2 threads in your needle, but I personally do not trust that to stay put if I'm gonna actually use the quilt. So I usually make my stitches a little bigger than I'm probably supposed to because I want them to stay there forever. And this way, hopefully they will, and because I'm doing the flat back stitch, I don't have to worry about them showing from the front anyway, so like, who cares? So yeah, it actually goes pretty quick because it's only like a 1 inch, this is an inch right here, so you're not actually going all that far to get to the corner. The way I do the corners so that I'm sure they're like lined up neatly might not be the like normal way to do it, but I really like it and it does work. So I'm gonna show you what I do in just a sec. So I go from this side to this side and I'm catching like the side of the corner just there. See? And I pull the thread through and I'm gonna make one more stitch in the same place because that'll really like pull it into true with the other side. But this time I'm actually gonna go through until I'm on basically the other side of the corner where I'm gonna start sewing up the other side. Can you kind of see that? So now I'm gonna get my thread caught on a random point, and then I'm gonna pull my thread tight. Now, when I go into the other corner to match them up, I can get just the edge of that corner too lined up really, really closely. I'm actually going behind the stitch that I just made a little, but that pulls it so that this corner sits really, really flush with this. And now I can just go on and sew the other side like I was planning to. You can see there's like a little gap here, but as I sew and I pull my thread tight, it closes up. I could actually fix that by untaping it and retaping it, but I don't really have to right now because it'll it'll be fine because it's gonna pull together anyway. So let's get, that doesn't wanna, there we go. Nope, I'm suddenly bad at this. Okay. I keep trying to catch the actual paper, which I don't want. See how the sides are pulling together? They're gonna be nice and flush once I'm done. Okay, so now I actually have to like unglue this corner a little bit, so I'm just pulling that open enough that I can get at the seams here. So now I can actually stitch all the way to the edge a little more easily. Boy, I do keep trying to catch that other paper. There we go. This is probably less even than my stitches normally are because I'm holding this work a lot farther away from my face than I normally do. And my lighting is a little bit weird because I'm trying not to use my very strong lamp because it makes everything look terrible on camera. There. It's actually not as much as I want to catch on that side, but it'll do for one stitch. And now I'm getting to the corner. And I actually have enough thread that I can just keep going around this corner and sew another probably 2 kites onto this. But I'll show you how I finish these normally instead. So I'm gonna get right up in that corner and sew those together. Try to make sure that I'm catching it as neatly as I can and not put my needle through the loop of thread, which I'm fully doing. There we go. Did I? Oh no, it's still in there. I just made a little knot that I didn't intend to make. Good job, me. There we go. And then I'm going to make one more stitch in the same spot because I really want it to be secure. And that time I'm not going to catch it on, oh, I'm going to catch it on something. Figures. All right, there we go. And now if I want to keep going, I can actually go through to the other side of that point and go around that way. But since I'm going to show you how to end this, I'm not. I actually just go back and do like 2 or 3 more stitches, make little X's going back down. And then once I feel like I've gone far enough, I can just kind of be done. So I'm just gonna make a couple little X's there and then put my needle through the fabric. There's too much glue there. And then, yeah, underneath the edge of the fabric and out, and then I can just trim it. And that's it. I did it. And now I'm gonna flip it over and show you with the tape gone. It's very neat. And you cannot, oh, nope, too close. You really can't see those stitches at all. And that's why I like to use flat back stitch.